Good morning, everyone. I got a comment from Ishmael Ferris, and here's his comment. Hi, Danny. I bought your book and explains things to me perfectly. Just have an issue that I'm trying to understand. Is feeding how much is enough? How much do I feed youngsters? How much do I feed molting birds? How much do I feed the approaching racing season? And how much do I feed for racing? How much is enough? Ishmael, this is not a new question. I get this question quite often. Uh, I like my Superman hat. I'm a little chilly this morning. How much is enough feed? How do I explain this? One time is enough. You feed them all they want. And the reason for this is the temperatures change during the day. You'll find that on cold days or really chilly days, the birds will eat more. On hot days and humid days where it's up in the 90s, the pigeons won't eat so much. So you're feeding them once a day based upon what they want, not what you want. Now, as far as the feed is concerned, you want a variety of grains. You want some fats, you want some protein, you want some minerals in the feed. You want to provide them with everything. And that's why I recommend some brewer's yeast. You're providing them pretty much all the vitamins they need. And while we're on the topic of vitamins, pigeons don't need all vitamins. For example, B12. They manufacture their own B12 while they're digesting. So what I'm trying to say to you is that provide them everything they need in the feed. They'll pick out the grains that they need, that they want, that they like. But once a day is all you feed. Even when you're raising youngsters, you ask that question, how much do I feed? You just leave the feed in there a little longer. They're going to feed, they're going to eat, they're going to go up and feed the babies, come back down again and eat a little more. But you're feeding them once a day, all they want. The next day, if you're letting the pigeons out, they're going to fly around for quite a while. And there are different times of the year that you're feeding the pigeons. For example, when you're racing the birds, you're not normally breeding pigeons. You might be breeding some youngsters as part of that for reasons that's explained in the book. But it's not so important as to how much to feed them. It's when you feed them and what you're feeding them. You're trying to feed the birds all the vitamins that they need, the brewer's yeast. If you're racing the birds and it's a long distance race, you might want to put some peanuts in the feed or little sunflower hearts to give them a little extra energy. Remember that the birds use fats for energy. As far as molting is concerned, When the birds are molting and it's a different time of year, it's usually in the summer, you want to be sure that they're getting adequate protein. 14% is usually enough, but if you want to feed them 16 or 17% or 18% while they're molting, it's not going to hurt anything. But that protein is not so necessary when you're raising the birds. So again, I don't think I explained it right in this video. You want to feed the birds once a day, all they want. And just keep in mind what season it is. If you're racing the birds once a day, that's all they need. You let them out hungry, they fly, they're going to fly for hours. If you're breeding birds and you're going through the early February season when most guys are breeding the birds, you want to give them a little more feed. Leave it in there a little longer. But after they're done, you take it out. When they get choosy, the feed's got to come out. The next day they'll be hungry. The youngsters will be fine. They fed them. They only got to eat once a day. I hope I explained it pretty well to you, Ishmael. Good luck and thank you for buying the book.